From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA, direct from Santa Monica with a huge update about your fourth stimulus check of 2021, with the House passing the $3.5 trillion recon. Yes, on Saturday night, the House budget on Capitol Hill passed your $3.5 trillion recon. That means that cluster number one passed. That is checks for children, checks for seniors, checks for workers, hazard pay, and even checks for vehicle and home repairs. And cluster number two's checks passed. Checks for paid sick leave, students, and also more money for the home. Cluster number three's checks, the president's checks, passed as well. Those are checks for workers and checks for seniors, cheap checks for free internet as well. Then, the exciting details is that even as that passed, Nancy Pelosi said, you know what, if you got more, give me more. And guess who's giving you more? AOC Omar and Jalapal, Pelosi's office and Bernie Sanders' office, telling over 1,000 viewers this channel in the last 8 weeks, they're putting an MSC IRS stimulus check in there. And guess what? This week, they have now confirmed that once again as well to viewers this channel. I have the latest breaking news. Then the president having big meetings. Oh boy, are these big meetings. Those big meetings happening late last night and more meetings today. Meetings about the battle of the three bills, the recon, the bipartisan, and the debt ceiling limit. I'll go over what were the dramatics as the progressives are protecting your recon like it's Fort Knox, vowing to do everything they can to make sure that recon goes over the finish line, to quote my words that they quoted as well. You think they're watching? It's time to wear a little bit more purple on Capitol Hill. This is a big recording, and this is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the land. Hope the weather is good where you are. It cooled down here in Southern California, so it has been beautiful here across the sea all this week. But in this fourth stimulus check update 2021 today, so many breaking details. As the president had a big meeting late yesterday, being covered for the first time on Afternoons LA with the moderate Democrats about that recon. And Pelosi having a big battle between the moderate Democrats and the progressives about your recon. Then we got three battles of bills heating up. We'll be going over big news, and it's all at Afternoons LA. We'll be turning first to the recon, passing in the House Budget Subcommittee on Saturday night. Cluster number one's checks pass, two's checks pass, and three's checks pass. Then AOC Omar, Jalapal, and Sanders telling viewers this week, and top of the viewers, they've been told over the last 4 weeks that there's an IRS monthly stimulus check going in there as well, because we are not finished. And even Ron Wyden, the Senate Democrat, vowing to put in an extension of unemployment benefits in there as well. OMG, I have all that incredible details as well. But then we'll be cutting to third stimulus, and then we'll be going over the voting. That's happening tomorrow. It's a lot happening, and this is a big recording. And this is Afternoons LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. There's a reason why you listen to this channel. Saturday night, the House Subcommittee of the Budget Committee passed your $3.5 trillion recon. I delivered the breaking news as soon as it happened. Broadcast media, nowhere to be seen. Didn't even cover it. Print media, didn't even cover it. YouTube channels, other than this one, never covered it. Then, a meeting Monday night, a meeting Tuesday afternoon, and several meetings Tuesday late evening about your recon. Anyone cover that as well? One print media and myself. There's a lot of dramatics. There's a lot of changes, and you need to be up to date by the minute. And the news cycle will be literally changing by the hour. So stay with me on Evenings LA coming up at 5 o'clock tonight, because that will be the last update. Of course, I'm on West Coast time. That'll be the last update after all these meetings today as well. All right, let's go to the details. First, with that passage. Saturday night, in the thick of night, the House Budget Subcommittee passed your $3.5 trillion recon. This is huge. Cluster number 1, 2, and 3 got in there. Let's cut to cluster number 1. But first, remember that the recon is checks for you. It is not pandemic related. It is not checks for one walk of life. It's checks for everyone. Cluster number 1's checks got in there. It's hazard pay, money for seniors, money for children, money for MSCs, home repairs, college students, and even bikes, cars, and trucks. Let's go over all the incredible details of those past checks. Number 1 were the money for hazard pay. Oh boy, this is exciting. In 2020, this channel was the biggest advocacy place on the planet for the inclusion of hazard pay in the national landscape a lifetime. We got it, because now it will be under forced stimulus. They're going to be raising up the numbers under an old tax code and broadening the eligibility. That tax code is called the Earned Income Tax Credit. So more essential workers qualify for it and get paid annually. Then they're going to be paying up to $4,000 a year to you if you care for an elderly person. This is huge. Richard Neal got this in there, Representative Richard Neal. And on the flip side, up to $4,000 to care for a young child. What about home repairs? They got that in there as well. If you live in a low-income community, there is free money to repair your home. College students got money in there. 3 items. Money directly to the university, to the student, and also the Pell Grant made tax-free. And then what about MSC, monthly stimulus checks, multiple stimulus checks? $51,000 of them got in there with a modification to the CTC. They're making the CTC lifetime and broaden the eligibility, so now parents who are not biological, not blood parents, will qualify for that as well. How much does it pay? Up to $51,000 a child. This is how it calculates. For every month that the child is in a low-income household, up to $300 a month. Every month, every year, for up to 18 years, which is $51,000. Wow. Incredible. Then they got money in there for a new electric bike, a new electric car, and a new electric truck. It's from the U.S. auto manufacturer. How much would it pay? 15% for a new electric bike, $7,500 for a new electric car, personal use. A little bit more if it's a car for business use, and a little bit more if it's an electric truck for business use as well. And there you go. That's the first cluster passed. In a second, we're going to go to the second cluster and third cluster. And then we're going to cut back to those IRS monthly stimulus checks that are getting inserted. So says the House and Senate Democrats of this channel, even this week. But let's go over to a detour for just a second with third stimulus. Your Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, who was on Capitol Hill yesterday, was very smart because she sent out the final $13 billion for rent and utility and mortgage assistance under third stimulus to your cities and counties and states last week. Why is it smart? Because the government will likely shut down on Friday with the debt ceiling limit not being done. More about that later in this video. Stay at the very end. I have a lot coming up. And that debt ceiling limit will mean that that money is now out in your cities and county states, all taken care of. Treasury is happy to provide these state and local governments with these additional resources to support Americans in need of rental assistance. Stay at the very end. I got that coming up. I also have the big voting details with the vote for Thursday. Oh boy, the battle of the 3 bills. But let's turn to cluster number 2's checks, and they are incredible. Cluster number 2's checks got in there, passed. What's the first checks in there? The first one is paid family leave and paid medical leave. There's a lot of money. Family leave, you have to stay at home because because your wife is pregnant. Paid medical leave, you have to stay at home because your child broke his leg. How much does it pay? A lot. Under third stimulus, it was $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. Let's split it in half. $800 a week if you make $35,000 a year. Let's split it in half. $15,000 a year annual salary, that would be $400 a week. Wow. There's a lot of checks in this second cluster, and they are deliciousness. Let's go over these 12 checks in the second cluster. We have checks for childcare programs, checks for household tax credits. Then we have checks for seniors, like expanding dental, vision, hearing, and medical eligibility age. Then we have checks for the home. Wow, weatherizing your home. Definitely need the Purple Hawks on the roof. And your Fox News. Well, weatherizing your home definitely need if you're in a hurricane area, fire area. Then 2 checks for education, free community, free pre-kindergarten, and then free community college. Definitely need for people who ever wants to take that class called What the World is LATE 101. It's a very popular class for everyone who wants to speak Los Angeles. It's a foreign language. Did you not know? We just say kale salad in every sentence. Kale salad, kale salad. There we go. In a second, we'll be cutting to third cluster checks. They got passed as well. But where's Congress? What's Congress doing? We have a couple of fractions, and it sounds like a mathematical equation, but we do. We have the House progressives, we have the House moderates. And then we have the same correlation over on the Senate. We have the Senate progressives and the Senate moderates. What's going on? Well, as to the recon, your money, the 3.5 trillion recon, the people protecting it, like Fort Knox, are the progressives, AOC, Omar, Jalapal, and in some cases, Pelosi. Over on the Senate Democrats, the people protecting it, Warren, Sanders, Schumer, and Casey Coons, Wyden. What are the progressives wanting to do with the recon? They're wanting to add more in there. They're wanting to add more stuff in there. As Ron Wyden saying, I want to add in an extension of unemployment benefits. He said that in the last 24 hours. Sanders' office, AOC, Jalapal's office telling viewers in the last 2 days they want to add in those IRS monthly stimulus checks. And certainly 1,000 viewers of this channel being told future tense, forward-looking tense, will be adding, will be doing an amendment of a monthly IRS stimulus check. What are the moderate Democrats doing? The moderate Democrats are doing the same thing. Call the vote on the roads and bridges. Call the vote on the roads and bridges. Do they not want the recon? They don't say. They don't say. In some cases, they don't say they're against it, but they don't say anything about it. I'll explain the dynamics of this when we talk about the battle of the three bills, recon, bipartisan, and a debt ceiling limit. It's coming up in the final 15 minutes with developing details of what happened in those meetings overnight with the president. That's coming up in a second. But let's go to the third cluster checks, passed. Well, they got those in there. Those are the president's checks. They are deliciousness. Lots of checks, and they are greener farmers. Greener farmers. Farmers checks. Yeah, you don't want to be any more green than you are. Free school meals for all checks. Cheaper prescription medication checks. Checks for farmers. Checks for clean energy. Checks for positive energy. Checks for seniors like dental, vision, hearing care, and then checks for lowering Medicare eligibility, and then checks for workers like independent contractors. All right, that third cluster checks got additional cash infusion of $107 billion for you. Why? Well, another world exclusive, you're only here on this channel, is that the Senate parliamentarian 2 weeks ago ruled one of the provisions in there can't belong there. It was a check to the judiciary, not to you, to the judiciary. Well, I went back in my old notes and looked it up. How much is that? It's $107 billion. So guess where it's going? To you. Wow. Then two of the checks in there, the president says, I'm going to use them as really the way to get this over the finish line because they are wonderful. And they are. They are automatic savings to you. What are they? Cheaper prescription medication, and then free internet. The cheaper prescription medication works the following. You'll go to the pharmacy, let's say today, and pay for two prescriptions. And pay for a prescription, take two $20 bills out of your wallet. And they will say, you know what? Thank you. And then they'll pass this law. And then when you go back to refill the prescription, you'll take two $20 bills out of your wallet again. They say, sir, now you only need one $20 bill. You can keep the other one. Yes. And then free internet. The federal government is going to give fortunes to city, counties, and states that they can offer free internet to you. This is huge. This is huge. That free internet coming to you would be offered at city, county, and state local level. All you have to say is, what's the username and password? Well, the username is Blaine66. And the password is Moolah. Is that with two O's? No, it's with five O's. There you go. Coming up in a second, we'll be cutting into the big, exciting final 15 minutes of this video with what the 1,000 viewers have been told by those Democrats about that IRS monthly stimulus check. And the dramatics, as the battle of the bills heats up, three bills, we'll go over what those meetings were last night. What did the president get from those meetings? My impressions of those meetings. It's brand new at Afternoons LA. The president having meetings with the moderate Democrats about the voting and about your recon. What did he say and what did they say back? We'll be going over to the progressives and what they're doing to protect your recon. But first, here's important messaging about the IRS monthly stimulus check. Well, this week, Sanders' office, AOC, Jalapal, and Omar's office, again confirming to viewers of this channel, they will be, future tense, adding in that monthly stimulus check provision, IRS one. This is huge because guess what? It's consistent with whatever's been happening over the last few weeks. On Saturday, when they passed the recon in that subcommittee, $3.5 trillion, Nancy Pelosi immediately issued a statement, and so did the president. What was the message? That this is really not a bill. It isn't a bill. It's a draft of what would be a bill. And she said, you know what? If you have more stuff to put in there, tell me. And that's what the president said. If you have more stuff to put in there, tell me. And ironically, she's the office that told viewers of this channel she's adding more stuff in there. What? your IRS monthly stimulus checks. Of all the incredible details of this and more, it's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. I'll be back with you in just 60 seconds. But here's a little bit about the community page. I'll see you in just a little bit as the excitement continues here on Afternoons LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues live from Santa Monica, well taped from Santa Monica on a big afternoon. The weather's beautiful, and I hope the weather's good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. Well, here we go, as the vote is looming for one of 3 bills. But is that vote going to help you, hurt you, or actually get all 3 bills over the finish line? I have the latest details of what the president told the moderate Democrats overnight. OMG, it's dramatics. Yes, like you've never seen on this channel before. We'll be cutting back to that monthly stimulus check and what the Democrats have told viewers of this channel and what you need to know. We'll be going over the voting process for Thursday, what that impacts and doesn't impact. We'll be going over the debt ceiling limit for Friday. And then we'll be cutting back to your recon and what happens next. It's a big day and the excitement's just getting started. And here's the second half of this recording starting right now. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit the subscribing button right now. This channel has all the incredible coverage of everything that's happening. The behind-the-scene negotiations, the wording, the drafting, the insertions, the removals, the hour-by-hour changes that are happening. Join me next on Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight, which is going to be a huge show because the final new show of the day after all the major meetings that are happening today, and there's a lot of them about your recon. So subscribe, like the video, and consider becoming a member. I don't want you to miss any video across the board today because the news cycle is changing on the hour by the hour, and that is why you want to stay with me and not miss anything that's happening. Let's turn first, for just a second, over to third stimulus. This is huge because the president got it right, or at least Janet Yellen with the president, to send out the remaining $13 billion to city, counties, and states before the federal government potentially shuts down on Friday. This is huge. I want you to get a pen, paper, and cell phone ready to get some rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and even a refrigerator. Yeah, it's coming up right now. This is huge. When we talk about the rent, it's gone up 200%. Viewers of this channel have gotten 200% more in the last month. When we talk about utilities, they're getting 300% more in the last month. And we talk about SNAP, they're getting 400% more in the last month. Let's look at those numbers. Here are what the Purple Hawks were doing a month ago. $21,000 to $27,000 Purple Hawks. I hope you remember. Now viewers are getting $40,000 for rent. When we talk about utilities, Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. It's almost 300% increase from what Mark got himself. How about SNAP? It's gone from this number to now $21,000. So get a pen, paper, cell phone ready. I'm going to show you how to get this big sums of money and maybe even a refrigerator. Let's go over all the details. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out. To reach out to all 6, they have different pots of money. Then listen to the keywords I say in this video, helps you get approved. And number 3, listen to the nonprofits because they are the big surprise of the month. All right, here we go. Here are the 6 places you reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. And your state hall and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Let's go over the 6 places again. City hall, city house authority. County hall, county house authority. State hall, state house authority. Now understand, all those places were given money under the first, second, and third tiers of money or the third stimulus, but they're getting an additional $13 billion. If you're a member of this channel, which I hope you are, daily the newsletter has been updated. It's the newsletter that comes out every 7 p.m. for members on this channel. And in there, I have the Treasury statement. I want you to read it before you reach out to the city, county, states for rent. Ask them if they've gotten the money. If they haven't, then say, when are you going to have it? Can I be on the waiting list? Can I call you back tomorrow? Because they will have it. Every red, blue, rich, poor state will have it, but it won't last forever. So pounds per hawk. Then, utility companies. I want you to reach out to all your utility companies. If you've got 5, reach out to all 5. And finally, the nonprofits. Big success story. I mean, they helped countless viewers in 2020 and early 2021 on our hit show Purple, getting hundreds of thousands of dollars of views this channel, but I didn't know if they were still paying. Oh boy, are they ever. They're doing it better than ever before. Here is what's going on. Number 1. They're giving appliances when in time of need. 2 viewers, separate viewers, have gotten new refrigerators. 1 viewer got a furnace and also a window fix. Number 2, they're approving the rent very quickly or funding it right after approval very quickly. 1 viewer reports big success with St. Vincent de Paul and the other one with United Way. So what are the 5 nonprofits? Here they go. United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. They're also featured in the newsletter for members. What's important to understand is that the nonprofits pay for money with different eligibility than the federal government, and in some cases pays for items the federal government doesn't even pay for, like clothing, appliances, maybe homeless people into shelters. Yes, let's go over those 5 nonprofits again. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. If you need holiday gifts, reach out to Salvation Army now and in early October because they don't do in November, December. It's too late. All right, now let's turn back to those SNAP. That SNAP is a big success story. Everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% a lifetime automatically starting October. And while the messaging has been very clear on this channel, the great news is people are getting that second letter. Oh boy. Thank goodness. There was a first letter that would say, hey, your benefits are going down because the raise up is over in September. Frightening to some people, I said there's a second letter coming. It's now coming. Viewers are now reporting. The second letter says, hi, your benefits are now going up average of 25% lifetime starting October. Mark's brother-in-law is going to $26,000. Can you imagine a family is getting $26,000 every year lifetime because of this channel? It's just incredible. It's overwhelming. All right, now let's turn to the unemployment benefits. The states are returning back your unemployment benefits overpaid to computer error. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state. And then the return check or refund check from IRS for that 2020 taxes you paid on the unemployment benefits, it's coming back. Average payment is $1,200 to $2,000. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it. If you've got any of these monies, post in the live chat. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Members get delivered daily the newsletter from me. It comes out every night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, featuring the big money for you to get under first, second, and third stimulus. It's delivered by the YouTube community page and also the LA alert system. This is important. There's a lot of money in there to get. That's why viewers like Johnny, 80,000, his family and his friends, 100,000, Mark, 51,000, his friends, 100,000, Lorraine, 100,000, Jen, last week, $40,000 of rent. This is why people are getting big sums of money, because I'm showing you where the money is. It'll also have what's in fourth and fifth stimulus. People always ask me, what are you going to do when fourth is passed? I'm going to show you how to get all the money under fourth stimulus. Then we're going to focus on fifth stimulus. This is the purpose of the newsletter. Also, I want you to make a promise to yourself and potentially to me. I want you to look back and say, have I gotten money for rent utilities? I want you to get more money. I want you to go as far in the future as you can. If you haven't gotten money, I want you to do that as well. I want you to get the rent and utilities as far in the future into 2022 as you can. You may have to rely upon nonprofits plus the local government as well. The reason why is because the nonprofits are paying money really quickly right now. It's late summer, early fall. They're not getting a lot of calls like they would get in November, December. Heating oil, it's cold. I need things because it's just cold outside. We're still in decent weather at the moment, so lean on them and get as much money as you can right now. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video as we go into the dramatics that heated up late yesterday, heated up Monday, heated up Tuesday, and are heating up today. The latest dramatics I'll be updating also on Evenings LALATE. So tonight's Evenings LALATE, watch that because I'll have new updates since the time of this recording, which is midday. The Evenings LALATE show is recorded right before it airs, which is about 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, let's first go over the IRS monthly stimulus check. The IRS monthly stimulus check is an add-on into a $3.5 trillion reconciliation budget agreed on a Saturday night. Passed that $3.5 trillion package, passed with cluster number 1, 2, and 3 passing. But even going into the weekend when it passed, Pelosi's office told countless viewers of this channel that she's adding in the monthly IRS stimulus check. AOC Omar Jalalapal's office confirming going into that passage as well. Coming out of the passage on Monday, Sanders, he's on the Senate side, not on the House side, remember, his office confirming yesterday the inclusion is still happening. And then we have AOC Omar's office confirming to the viewers as well. It's all about advocacy, not tracking, but advocating. And it started with WR 8 weeks ago, who picked up the phone and advocated. When I said to advocate, to Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, advocating for the inclusion of a monthly stimulus check, and Senator Chris Coons' office saying, yes, I'm doing it. The advocacy has taken a very big, important step on this channel in the last week when 2 viewers showed us what advocacy looks like. Here you're going to see a series of screen grabs in the next few minutes on this channel. These are screen grabs for people who posted on the comments of this channel or sent me on social media in private message. Here's a screen grab, what Margaret wrote. Honestly, I and the woman on the phone at the senator's office were crying when I explained everything I've been going through and with my girls. And then another viewer wrote this. How am I supposed to have 10 surgeries since my husband's passing? I'm trying to raise 2 teenage daughters, and the hardship I'm having with SSDI isn't enough. That's not enough money. That is the true face of advocacy. Well, that's what happened when Brother Joshua picked up the phone and called Bernie Sanders' office 3 weeks ago. He advocated like this. Now, why was Brother Joshua calling Bernie Sanders' office? Because I said to call. It was 3 weeks ago that I was delivering a series of exclusives on this channel. Number 1. I report exclusively that the House would vote first on the recon. It will be. Number 2, that the House would be writing up the recon. It has. Number 3, that the senators would vote last. They will be. And that number 4, that Bernie is very important to the equation. Well, he is. He's the budget chairman on the Senate side. Remember, the House has a budget committee as well. That's Richard Neal. They released the pages of the recon over. They're writing up the recon pages. But Bernie Sanders 3 weeks ago said a critical statement. As a guy who got you the $3.5 trillion price tag, he got that as well. He said, unlike other prior budget chairmen of the Senate, I like to get amongst the people when I'm writing a recon. That means he wants to hear from you. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. Margaret did, Lynn Glenn, and Brother Joshua did, saying why he needs it for his family. Why you need it, why the community needs it, why his church needs it, and why he needs it. And Sanders' office saying yes. He will be putting $1,000 to $1,400 monthly stimulus check provision in there, but needs to hear your support for it 3 to 6 months. And I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And even in the last 24 hours, as you've been advocating to Sanders' office, they have been confirming that back as well. It's still going in there. What looked like the advocacy? Let's see the advocacy that viewers brought to this channel starting 3 weeks ago as they picked up the phone and they said, I need it. Here are some screen grabs from viewers that comments that posted on the channel or in private message. This is Donnie. He writes, I called Bernie Sanders' office and his secretary said, they're doing a forced stimulus check. I said, this is what I need. I need in my city. I need it to progress. I need it for my water and everything I got. I told her, and she said, yes, they're putting in a forced stimulus check. Hurricane Tina wrote, I called Bernie Sanders' office and I got through and they said, they're putting in a forced stimulus check. Carolyn wrote, I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to the secretary and told her what I need help with. We're losing our homes and what we got. And Sanders said, they're putting in a forced stimulus check. Yaya wrote, I spoke to another Ron Wyden staffer who says he wants to do SS 200 as we promised. And there you go. Viewer after viewer being told the same message that they're inserting that provision. But then Will took us to another level by not calling one office, but three. I called Bernie, Sanders, and Schumer, and all three offices confirmed the inclusion of stimulus check. When he went over to Warren's office, this is what happened. Elizabeth Warren's office asked me what kind of check I think would be sufficient. I explained I like the American petition. That's $2,000 a month. And they said they're on board with that. They said Senator Warren will be introducing $1,400 to $2,000 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months. So there you are. By the end of that week, we had the incredible comment from Larica, who's actually talking to Casey's office again today. Larica then, this is 2 weeks ago, spoke to Casey's office, and she writes the following. I talked to the girl, and she said, yes, they're in negotiations for the amount of the checks now. And then Paul and others started picking up the phone and calling over to those Democratic members on the House side, as I urged to do. He went to AOC. They want to be $2,000 a first month, $1,000 thereafter. Paul writes, she assured me that it would be in the bill. Then we had Janice, who called over to Jayalapal's. She writes the following. I called every congressperson. I called Jayalapal also, and they did say, yes, the forced stimulus check is in there. By the weekend, right before the passage of the $3.5 trillion recon, these are the senators who confirmed to 1,000 viewers of this channel that they will be adding it in there. Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden. Then AOC, Jayalapal, and Omar. The messages continued with Pelosi confirming to Mark. This is what Mark writes. I told them why I need a forced stimulus check, and her staff told me there would be a forced stimulus check for $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, and that they are almost done negotiating it. And it continued across the board. Negotiations near complete. The inclusion of monthly stimulus checks, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000, running 6 months. Well, here we are, as that is all still perfectly aligned. Because guess what? Just like Ron Wyden said yesterday, he wants to add in the extension of unemployment benefits. Nancy Pelosi also said, if you want to add stuff in, add it in. She said it Saturday night. She said it Tuesday as well. That this is not a bill, because a bill would mean you can't add anything else in. We're done until we do amendments to the bill. This is still a work in progress. If you want to add stuff in there, add it in there. And that's what Jayalapal, Omar, Pelosi's AOC, and Sanders' office have said since at least Friday, in some cases even since Monday. Incredible, great news. Let's go to the dramatics of what happened overnight with the president's meetings last night, the meetings the meetings midday yesterday, and the meetings the day before. We got a battle of the three bills. We have the recon, your money. We have the roads and bridges, also called the bipartisan, not your money. And then we have the debt ceiling limit. That doesn't concern you whatsoever. Three bills, and just till Friday with big dramatics. Friday's not a deadline for anything about our money, but it's certainly a deadline for dramatics. And what's going on? The progressives are in corner number one. The progressives, AOC, Jayalapal, Omar, Sanders, Warren, you know who they are, Wyden. The same people who want to give you a monthly stimulus check. They're progressives. They are protecting your recon like Fort Knox. Who's in the other corner? The other corner are the moderate Democrats, like the so-called goth gang. That's their name. They didn't make it. I didn't create it. That's what they call themselves, the goth gang. They're House moderate Democrats. What are they focused on? Passing the roads and bridges infrastructure by Thursday or else. Don't know why, but that's what they're focused on. They just love getting roads and bridges over the roads and bridges on Thursday. Then what is the third fraction? What is the third fraction? The people who are trying to get things done. Pelosi and the president. The president had a meeting late last night, not the only meeting, but the last one of three with the moderate Democrats yesterday. At least three, maybe it was four. I'm losing track of how many there were yesterday. The last one, which was basically the following. You want your roads and bridges. I got it. Well, what is your position, moderate Democrats, on the recon? Excuse me, I can't hear you. Can you talk up? Can you talk up? Check back with me later. What do you mean check back with me later? Tell me what you want. Well, and they're not really speaking up. And the president and Pelosi are not being happy that the moderate Democrats are, every time you ask them about the recon, they just really don't say anything. They don't say anything, but they say, call the vote on my roads and bridges Thursday. And the president and Pelosi are saying, Why won't you tell us what your position is on the recon? So the president reportedly is doing a very interesting calling of the cards. He has an interesting card in his back pocket, and it may be working. What is the card in the back pocket the president's using? Well, moderate Democrats, let me show you what the situation looks like at the moment. We have 3 bills, and we have the debt ceiling limit, we have the infrastructure, and we have the recon. You want me to go in the weekend with 0 3 bills passing? If that's really what you want, then I guess I won't be your president 2 years from now. You can just have a Republican president, for the next election. Because if you just don't pass bills, then I just won't be here. If that's what you want, I'll just be gone, and you'll probably be gone because it'll be all Republicans. And apparently that fire under the feet apparently is working, because he's now using himself as sort of like the as the casualty of the moderate Democrats not speaking up. Pelosi, on the other hand, is doing it a little bit differently. Pelosi is very, very, very slanted in favor of the progressives. Understand, Omar is one of her closest friends in the House. She doesn't like the Goth Gang. She doesn't like them. They came in July, and the Goth Gang said, we want to do these things. She said, no. We want to do these things. She said, no. She said, okay, I'll make a deal with you. I'll call the vote on your roads and bridges on Thursday, this Thursday, and a few weeks from now. And that Thursday is coming up tomorrow. And she said, okay, I'll call the vote. She didn't say she's going to pass it. She said she's going to call the vote. So what are the progressives now looking at the situation? Well, the progressives had meetings with Pelosi. There was a meeting Monday night, and then there was a meeting Tuesday morning. And the scope of those meetings were that, one, that Pelosi is upholding her promise to the Goth Gang that she'll call the vote on the bipartisan on Thursday, to which the progressives say, you know what, you shouldn't be holding up your promise. You should not be keeping your promise, because people don't keep our promise. So just break your promise and not call the vote on the roads and bridges on Thursday. But since you want to keep your promise, we will keep our promise, and we're going to vote it down. So the progressives, in a House in which you cannot miss 3 Democratic votes, if you miss 3 Democrat votes, you don't pass anything. There are 60 Democrats who are progressive who have been polled and say, we are voting down the roads and bridges on Thursday. What is my prediction? The roads and bridges will not pass on Thursday. I believe it will be called for a vote on Thursday. I believe it won't pass. If it does pass, does it hurt our recon? Not really. If it doesn't pass, does it help the recon? I think it really does. I think it really does, because we're trying to figure out who is really able to call the shots here. And ultimately, the president has the final shot, because he can say, you know what, if you don't want to give me any bill, I'll just leave you in 2 years, and you can have a Republican president. Because you don't want to pass any bills, then I'll just be gone. And no Democrat wants that. But no Democrat wants a Republican president. It doesn't matter how crazy the moderates will be. On the other hand, we have the progressives who are really saying, we control the House, so you can call things for votes, but unless it's what we want, we're not doing it. Remember the progressives this week, AOC, Omar, Jalapal, and last week, Pelosi, all saying that they're including that monthly stimulus check provision, saying that they are protecting you. Bernie Sanders voting yesterday, saying vote down the roads and bridges. Bernie Sanders' office telling viewers that the IRS stimulus checks is in there. Ron Wyden saying he wants to include unemployment benefits extension. These are all progressives. They are absolutely calling the shots, and they have the right to call the shots. And in this case, the people that are protecting your money are the people that have the ability to call the shots. Now let's turn to the debt ceiling limit, the third bill. Will the debt ceiling limit come up on Friday and they don't get it done? I think they will not get done. I think the debt ceiling will pass and won't get it done. Now, if you've been with this channel since I started on April 25th of 2020, you know that we've had 1 or 2 other debt ceiling limits pass and not get it done. It's very commonplace. It's very commonplace to miss the date by 2 days or 3 days or 2 weeks. It's not commonplace. It goes for 2 months. Number 1, your checks will come on time. If you're on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, you're an active member of the Armed Services or a federal employee, your checks will be coming on time. If this goes over a week, your checks will come on time. 2 weeks, same thing. 2 months, December, check back with me then. It's a whole different situation. Unlikely to happen. Number 2, the debt ceiling limit has nothing to do with anything that you live about or anything about your household. It has nothing to do with the recon, because it does not fund the recon. It funds existing law. Number 3, Does it help the whole equation of passing the recon? I think it really does help. If the debt ceiling limit is not done by Friday, I think it helps the recon for many reasons. Number one, again, the president's message is you need to start showing me wins. I need to start passing things. I go in the weekend and I've gotten 0 of 3 things. What are you doing here? As everyone, broadcast media, print media, even viewers say, the budget bill is the easiest thing in the world to do. It should not even be dragging out a second. But if they can't get even the budget bill, the debt ceiling limit done by Friday, then it sort of plays into the message of, you know what, you need to start getting these things done. And you need to start getting one at a time done. And I think the roads and bridges versus the recon is its own sort of telenovela, just looking at it. But if it looks like it's 3 bills you can't get done, and the third one is the easiest one, the debt ceiling limit you can't get done, then it looks like you got a functional problem you have to start fixing, and you got to fix it right away. That is actually what was said in the meetings by the president overnight, what was said in the meetings Monday night and also Tuesday, that we got 3 bodies of law. Why can't we get all 3 done? As to your roads and bridges and your recon, the comment that came in after the progressives fuming mad yesterday was the following. Let me first give you the fuming mad comments. Representative Jim McGovern, Democrat, Massachusetts. My father told me that when I was growing up, there's a fine line between a good guy and a darn fool. I will not be rolled over. That was his comment. So here is the response to all that and some real progressives' comments. House Democrat Caucus Chair Hakeem Jeffries said, "We're just trying to figure out the path to get both of these 2 very important bills, recon and bipartisan, over the finish line." Yeah, he said over the finish line. You think he's watching this channel? I don't know. We'll see if Hakeem wears purple this week. But with that, the dramatics are far from over, and the storyline is far from over, with the news cycle changing on the hour by the hour. So stay with me on Evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock, because that will be the latest update. It will be recorded, nearly almost 2 or 3 hours later than this show is actually recorded. So we'll have the latest updates about any more of the more meetings that are happening today by the president with the moderates, with Pelosi and the moderates, and the progressives, their comments on the situation, because they have a lot to say, and it's getting very exciting. Thursday is going to be a big day. We will see whether the recon, whether the roads and bridges passes, or whether the progressives really kill it. And we'll see how vocal the progressives are in killing it. And then Friday is the debt ceiling limit. Today, Thursday, Friday, we got a lot coming up. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. When something passes, like Saturday night's passage of the $3.5 trillion recon, you're here because I'm recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with incredible details about what's behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and the nuances of everything you need to know. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Join me next on Overnight's Crypto and then Evenings LA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.